Welcome to the 67 Irish Farmer YouTube channel. My name's Anthony and this is Timber. Behind me is my 1968 Case 430 diesel farm tractor. I have updated the front loader from a manual trip style front loader that you'd see commonly in the 50s and 1960s to a skid steer quick attach, and I figured I would show you guys how I did that. I don't have a whole lot of video or pictures of the process of building it, but it's here and I'm able to describe how I went about it, and I figured this would be a great approach for anybody looking to do this on their tractors as well. When I built this, I knew I did not want to hinder the geometry at all. I wanted this to function just like a modern tractor would. I wanted to curl back. As you can see, it curls back pretty significantly, even almost at ground level. And I also wanted to dump pretty significantly. So I'm going to fire the tractor back up again and curl it all the way. I'm waiting for the tractor hydraulics to warm up so then you actually get an accurate representation of the cycle speed on it. Right now is not a good time because it is about 28 degrees out right now and it is starting to snow. This is like one of the very first snowfalls that is sticking here in upstate New York, November 27th this year. So this is the tractor in the fully raised position and the full dump position. The forks don't give it as much of a dump motion as a bucket would, but they give it more of a curl back. It's just the geometry of the attachment itself. It has nothing to do with the loader. But as you can see, I have enough angle there where whatever is on the forks or whatever is in the bucket is going to come out. So here is the back side, the business end of this skid steer quick attach. I got these couplers from eBay for like $85. They needed a little bit of tweaking to make them work perfectly, but they were a great basis to make this happen. I am sure most people are aware how these function, especially if you are interested in converting your old tractor into having a skid steer quick attach. Sorry for the shakiness. Just one quick flip of the levers and you're disengaged on this side, and do the same on the other side to disengage that and then flip them down to engage it. The skid steer quick attach coupler makes it very easy to change from my pallet forks to this bale spear, but you can see on the bottom here, this lip here is angled, which receives a triangulated piece, and then that pin that you flip up and down goes in one of these square holes. This is that triangulated piece here. It's flat on the front side here, and then you got this triangulated piece here. You can see here how this is triangle, and I'm getting doggy kisses right now. And then here on the bottom, you have these square holes where your pin drops in. Your pin can drop anywhere along this. It doesn't have to be in an exact spot. There is leeway and wiggle room for that to align. So when I attached the loader arm to this bracket here, I used I think it's a 3/16 thick steel. It was a 3" by 3" square tube. I cut the back side of the tube out and I drilled the holes for my pins. I originally drilled one right here. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's starting to get dark. I just got out of work not too long ago. So I took this 3" by 3" 3/16 thick steel square tubing, and I cut out one face of it. And I drilled a hole here in the top for the curl cylinder pin, and I drilled one hole here in the bottom where the curl would go on the loader arms. I originally made that in the wrong spot, and I had to put another 2" extension on this bracket. Also wanted to have some linkage here to help get a little bit more throw when I'm curling and extending this front loader. I have a 2.5" curl cylinder as well as a 2.5" curl cylinder on the other side. They're 24 inches long, and they're actually the identical cylinders that are for the raise and lower for the main loader frames. So with this 3" by 3" square tube with the backs cut out, put this 2" extension on there, and then I was able to backspace this, off center these. You can see how this is completely vertical, but this is more forward than this one. That allows for it to pivot. So originally this was a manure style trip bucket. It had single way hydraulic cylinders on there, so they did not have any downforce. I could not pick the tires up off the ground with it. It was only gravity down, like what you would have on a snowplow. So I've changed his hydraulic cylinders out. I got a new spool valve, which I would recommend trying to purchase something a little bit more expensive. I got the most budget friendly one, was about $60. So this is the spool valve that I got. I got this on eBay. It is a Vever or Vever brand spool valve. It works great. It's for the flow rate of this tractor. It's not hindering it at all. But you can't do two functions at the same time. Well, I had to take a slight detour and get off topic there. The tire blew off the bale, so I got to get this back on here. This is what we need in order to feed all them horses for the winter. And we'll probably go through 400 or 500 small squares for the goats. Let's see if this works. And of course it's too short. I'll tie that to that string here. Alrighty, just like that, we are all set and just in time because it is just about getting dark. So this only has to hold until I think Sunday. Today is Thursday, so hopefully we get through the rest of the week. So Sunday we'll be picking up a load of round bales, so this should hold up, and that would be in the following Sunday video. Well guys, it's been a few days. I had a dead battery on the tractor because somebody like me left the lights on the tractor, but I let the tractor warm up and I got the hydraulic system warmed up as well. So I'm going to fire it up and show you guys a full cycle time of this machine. And this is off the standard hydraulic pump that is on the tractor itself. And I'm going to increase the RPM up to about 1500 RPM. PTO speed about 1800. Fast enough to get what I need done, but it's definitely not fast by today's standards. But that is the full cycle time of this tractor. It's a Case 430 diesel with a draft-o-matic hydraulic system. The draft-o-matic is the 3-point hitch system. So if you have a Case 430 diesel tractor with a draft-o-matic, or even a Case 530 tractor with a draft-o-matic, the supply line is this guy right here. So I have this. This is typically going to the bottom of your draft control, which is this guy here. I rerouted it. This is original here with all the original bends. I rerouted it to go into my loader spool valve, and then the exit of that goes down and goes back into my 3-point hitch operation. So I have full operation of my 3-point hitch at all times, as well as my front loader. I have live hydraulics. You don't, even when you push the clutch down, it still operates. Part of the mess here, but all this is getting sent to the scrapyard. I don't need this junk anymore. This is the original front loader bucket. This is a manure bucket. It's actually kind of upside down right now. This would be the top, and then this would be the cutting edge. That was the pivot pins. They rotate there. There's forks, manure forks sticking off the end of it. Not sure if you can tell by that orange piece of steel there with the pipe sticking out to one side of it. That was one of the original loader arms. So I cut that off to replace it with box tube. So you guys may notice an audio quality difference between the beginning of this video and ending of this video, because I got a new microphone system for the channel. But this is the front loader. Originally it came to about here, and then it split off and went down, so it would wrap around the sides of the bucket. So the pins would right here on the sides of the bucket. The bucket's probably a little over 3 feet wide, and now I got the skid steer quick attach. And there was a couple breaks and welds in between here and there, so I just cut it off about right here. You can't really tell right now because I've done all that, but that's why this is all pretty new metal, and the rest of it is all the original orange. But I had originally tried to make these on my own. They are actually in the back of that truck too for scrap metal. And I made them, I pressed them. I'll include a clip of me pressing them to make the shape of what these are, because it's round on the top and it's folded on the bottom and they're welded in between. So I do have some video clip left over from that, but I made them the wrong gauge steel. They were supposed to be 3/16. I made them out of 1/8 inch. And I wanted to keep the strength and integrity of the loader. So I didn't want to do it a second time, so I went to a fab shop and gave them what I had, and they created these ones for me. So they're tapered. They get down to about 2.5 inches on the bottom, but they're like 6 inches on the top. So they got that gradual taper that you can kind of see on the back of the loader as well. I wanted to keep that taper, keep this as original as possible. So it's round on the top, square on the bottom. They overlap and weld. I hope that the video I have shows that for you. But that's how I based off of the whole loader. I took the arms completely off the tractor, welded them on the bench, put them back on the tractor, and then put the cross member in, looking at everything with my ichrometers. So we'll come over to this side so then you could see where it was welded. Right here you can see that it's rusty there, and it's rusty along this line here. So this is actually a, I think it's a 2-inch round pipe, and then there's flat bar welded to that flat pipe right there. So then we get this nice radius. Unlike how this is designed, this is all just wrapped around one piece of steel, but this is 3 pieces of steel. You got the one piece of steel that's come from the pipe here and wraps around the bottom, and another on the other side that wraps around the bottom, and they meet on the underside. Kind of hard to tell with the lighting, but yeah, it's stitch welded along the bottom there, but that matches what's originally on there. In order for me to get this bucket linkage to work correctly, I used a lot of cardboard aided design. So I made these out of cardboard and this linkage out of some scrap 1x lumber, and I made these pivot blocks out of the steel and was able to get the geometry off of the cardboard and the wood and this pivot pin here, and that's how I determined what I wanted. Just did it all by looks, no engineering, no CAD software, nothing like that, just backyard hooligan. So now I'm going to include some videos past that I have never intended to actually go on YouTube, so the quality is probably not the greatest, but I figured it'd be a pretty good help if you're gonna go do this yourself. As use the press. It's 1/8 inch plate steel. I used an angle grinder and metal circular saw to cut a groove in here, and then I bent this 90 in there and then re-welded it to hold that into place. And then we put it in this press and push down on the center into this 90, and once we get it almost 90, it goes into this groove, and that gets that form all the way to where these two sides are touching the threads on the press, and we can't go anymore. So now we take that 90-degree angle iron block out, and we put it right on top of these two plates here, and we have it spaced up against the sides of the press with C-channel and scrap metal, and that will give us the hole that we need, the correct size. So this is the new half of the loader arm. I didn't think it was gonna work. I formed it up, was able to get a half circle and then the two flanges to meet up with the original loader. And I got the taper. So this is where the lift cylinders go. That's where the bucket pivot goes. And I'll show you what it looked like beforehand. So I want to make a note of these pins. So this pin right here, I don't know how well you can see that. I want to make a note of these pins. You have to pull this cotter pin out, pull the whole assembly out, regrind these. These are like 36 degrees from the factory. They need to be closer to like 26 degrees. Well, that's what engages when you open and close this lever. So you'd have to take this top bolt off and the spring, and then you have to take this bolt out on just underneath that, and then this whole assembly pull out. You pull out that pin, regrind that so it's at the proper angle, 26 degrees, and then you can put it all back in there. Otherwise, the bucket, if you try lifting the tires up off the ground, will just pop off. This is too steep of an angle. But I will leave a link for these quick connects in the description so you can purchase a set of your own. I'll also leave a link in the description for that hydraulic spool valve. But Timber and I would like to thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.